Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm back with more Total War Warhammer 2 online action. We're here again with the Fire Alliance, the Empire, and the Dwarves, here in a 2v2 against the foul forces of the Skaven and Lizardmen. Lizardmen apparently have been corrupted by the Skaven, this Slann mage here having fallen to the corruption of the Grace here. So we're going to try and set him free here. Apologies about the initial phase of this battle. It's going to be a little bit laggy as there's something wrong with this map, I think. I'm not 100% sure, but we'll try and power through. Just bear with me a moment as this beginning phase of the battle is going to be pretty laggy. Starting off with our builds here, you remember our Fire Alliance, this time led by Volkmar once again. Flagellants, Sigmar's Sons up front, we've got some Pistoliers, plenty of State Troop Spearmen as well, Lore of Fire Sorcerer, Mage rather, whatever he is, and Templehof Luminarch. For the Dwarves, Ungrim Iron Fist, Runesmith. We've gone with a mix of Dwarf Warriors and Miners with Blasting Charges in the front line. Got some Iron Drakes, Trollhammer Torpedoes, Dragonback Slayers, and the Thane, both of which can give weakness to fire. A couple of Thunderers as well, Gyrocopters with Brimstone Guns, you already know. For our Skaven opponents, Storm Vermin, plenty of Slaves as well. We've also got some Plague Claw Catapults here, one of which just got blasted by the Luminarch. Gracier, Lord Ruin leading the way with an Assassin here. We've also got some Death Globe and Poison Wind Globadiers. Slann Mage Priest, looks like an Ancient Stegodon, Feral Carnosaur, we've got Saurus Warriors with shields, plenty of Skink Javelins as well, and a unit of Croxigors. You can see the Luminarch already pouring in shots here, getting some good damage in on that Ancient Stegodon. My Gyro had come in to do some cheeky airstrikes on the Plague Claw Catapults, but unfortunately I got hit by a Howling Warp Gale. They're not doing too great in terms of their leadership right now. You can see our forces just kind of advancing across the hill here. And happy Javelin Day to the Gyrocopters. They're getting hit by all the Poison Wind Globes and everything. Already dropped a model, looks like, so they're out of here. Thankfully, right as Pistoliers were able to come in here and at least disrupt these other two Plague Claw Catapults, shut them down from firing, at least for a short while. We've also got the Scar Veteran in here. He's going to be chasing them away. Looks like some artillery crew getting back on their pieces, and the Pistoliers have been routed off at this point, but we've been able to advance with relatively few losses. There was that Chain Lightning that came down in the front line, and you notice when the Kindle Flame hits, that does give a weakness to fire, and that will help the Templehof Luminarch, of course, do additional damage as well against these heavily armored dinos. So yeah, you can see in the front line here, engagement just about to get underway. We've pulled up the Miners in range. We're going to start hucking some blasting charges here. And Croxigor's charging in. We've got lots and lots of Overwatch fire, plenty of Thunderers and the Silver Bullets as well up on the high ground there. So yeah, pretty good stuff so far. Blasting charges also do fire damage, so when the Kindle Flame is active, they will get a little bit of extra damage from those. You can see there we're doing some nice damage, a very nice Dreaded 13th spell though, summoning some Storm Vermin Halberd in the back line. They immediately get pelted by their own Plague Claw Catapult, but hey, it's, Skaven, what can you do? But already that Ancient Stegodon just got wrecked by armor-piercing missiles. Haven't really been focusing on it too much, but this line of Thunders, we've got some Trollhammer Torpedoes in here, the Silver Bullets as well, just all the elite missiles up on the high ground, pouring in devastating amounts of fire. And yeah, that Feral Carnosaur is now routed off as well. Very nice banishment over here, though. Cleans up a ton of Dwarves. You can see those Miners getting wrecked. These Dwarf Warriors getting wrecked. There was just a very target-rich environment right there. So, yeah, ended up being pretty effective. The armor-piercing missiles up on the high ground, though. Now going to go after the Scar Vet here, and the Thane's also in range, so he's got 44% weakness to fire. That Templehof shot that just came in did a ton of damage. Brimstone Guns also do additional fire damage, so yeah, all the things that do fire damage is going to wreck this Scar Vet, and he is done, just absolutely shattered in no time at all. Meanwhile, up on the high ground, the Iron Drakes are now in position to start roasting out some rats here. So we're going to get them pouring in some fire. These Dwarf Warriors aren't holding up too well. They're going to rout off relatively soon, but yeah, there it is. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Poison Wind Globadiers actually look like they're the target here. They're throwing their globes back at the Iron Drakes. Poison Wind Globadiers do have pretty heavy armor, so they're not going to actually take that much damage from the Iron Drake fire. This is not going to be a great trade for the Iron Drakes at the end of the day, but we are going to pull back as there are some Storm Vermin coming in. A little bit danger close. The Slann gets zapped and shot and zapped again, and then blown up by the Templehoff. Again, the Thane and the Dragonback both in range to give him additional weakness to fire, so there was no chance for him there. The globes being thrown by the Poisonwind Globadiers. Volkmar actually does have heavy magic resistance. 40% magic resistance means that those Poisonwind Globadiers are going to do relatively little to him, all things considered, but a little bit danger close there. The Templehoff finishing off the Feral Carnosaur. So yeah, at this point the Fire Alliance doing very well, pushing through very aggressively. We still got quite a Massosaurus here on the low ground, but they're going to get all the guns and blasting charges opening up on them. And here come the reserve Knights of the Blazing Sun. Beautiful cinematic charge in here, just lancing through these Saurus warriors and doing a devastating amount of damage, routing off several units in this pocket. Meanwhile, over here, the Plague Claw Catapults, still somehow many of them online, but the miners are starting to break through. You can see we've got a double layer of Iron Drakes over here, just roasting out some Storm Vermin. And both of our opponents are going to admit defeat at that point. I believe the Lizardmen forces had more or less shattered. There was just looks like maybe a few units still holding out, but very, very fun battle. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. Suffer through the lag just because it's such a cool cinematic situation with all of that gunfire going off and the blasting charges and the gyrocopters and the Luminarch and the fireballs, and it's just such a spectacle. I wanted you guys to be able to watch it. So apologies about the lag again. I'm not sure exactly what's wrong. I pretty much never have issues running this game, so I'm pretty sure it's just that map is not super well optimized. Probably drop a note to CA about that one. But nonetheless, very, very fun battle. Big thanks to Rightist for playing along with me for those two battles. We'll have to grab some more of this Fire Alliance. Likewise, big thanks to our opponents as well. They were just a couple of randos on ladder, but still well played to them. It was a very, very fun cinematic battle. In terms of the army breakdown, obviously, miners with blasting charges with 43 kills, not bad at all. 44 on the Dragonback Slayers. Iron Drakes were able to roast out some good kills. The Thunderers, while they didn't get a lot of high volume kills, they did provide some really nice damage on some of those big targets. Likewise for Rightist, the Templehoff was an absolute menace. Actually did get 60 kills and managed to snipe out and do a ton of damage to a lot of those large single entity targets that the Lizards brought. So that was a ton of value right there. Knights of the Blazing Sun, I only really highlighted that last charge at the end, but 120 kills. They basically were unopposed, just charging around. There really wasn't anything to stop them from just rampaging around the battlefield. No Rat Ogres. I guess the Croc scores and they probably wanted to stay away from the Carnosaurs, which they did. But still, just cleaning up a ton of kills. Great work with the Silver Bullets as well. Flagellants cleaning up a bunch of Skaven. 54 kills on Volkmar himself. Yeah, for our opponents, you can see here the Skaven player. The Plague Claw Catapults were actually able to stay online, all things considered. We tried pretty aggressively early on in the battle to try and shut them down, but they were able to get back online. Granted, that disruption by the Pistoliers and by the Gyrocopters was enough to mean that we didn't take a ton of damage on the advance, which was pretty key, I would say. The Storm Vermin didn't do a whole lot. They did okay. The Globadiers also, you'd probably expect a little bit more out of these guys. Unfortunately, their short range means they're kind of garbage at counter-skirmish against things like Thunderers, handgunners, that sort of thing. They really didn't have too many great tools for taking them out. As far as the Lizardman player goes, I mean, bringing this many big dinos against Empire Dwarf Alliance is probably a little bit of a dubious pick, but still a lot of fun, certainly. It provided some good cinematics, and it's always nice to see the generic Salon, the Heavens Salon with Chain Lightning and Banishment, I believe, is what he had on the table. So yeah, super fun stuff. Well played to my opponents here. We're going to be keeping it going with more 2v2s. I know some of you guys were a big fan of the last Fire Alliance 2v2 I put out, so wanted to get another one for you guys, and here it is. So hopefully you all enjoyed that. We are going to keep the content rolling. I'm not sure 100% when the Lizardmen and Skaven DLC is going to be released, but I guess a good showcase of the two factions that need their DLC. Hopefully we'll see an announcement within the next 3 to 4 weeks. I'm not 100% sure exactly when CA is going to announce that, but from what we've heard, it should be releasing sometime in April, and judging from the fact that we're just about to the end of March, it's got to be coming up sometime soon, so keep your eyes peeled. I know I am certainly very excited. I've seen people speculating on all sorts of different lords. Thankful, Ikit Claw, you know, for the Skaven, for the Lizardmen, we're looking at like, who knows, like Chacox, Tenenhuan obviously is a pretty pretty keyed in pick. We're going to be seeing him at some point. But we'll see. You know, there's really a lot of different things they could do, but certainly both those factions are in need of some love. In the meantime, though, we're going to be keeping it going with plenty of Empire, Dwarf, and, you know, other hot action. So stay tuned for more. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you do like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button, so every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.